87 V10 half-ton four-wheel drive Suburban, and I'm going to be changing the rotor out and looking at the condition of the front bearings. It's been setting up for approximately 9 years, and got it roadworthy. New tires, a whole bunch of new stuff already. And now we're going to look at the condition of the bearings and replace the rotor and the brake caliper, because I believe this brake caliper is sticking. Alright, today it's an 87 Chevy Suburban V10 four-wheel drive. We're going to put on a brake caliper. I don't know if it's C529 or C528 for this side. I've got it laying on the ground over there. And we're going to put a new rotor on, even if it doesn't need it. I'm going to be pulling a lot of stuff, and it's been setting up forever. The rotor number is 5522. Before you jack your car up, these Allen wrenches, these Allen head bolts, they're pretty hard sometimes, so I'd suggest breaking those loose before you jack your car up. I sprayed some penetrating lubricant on it earlier because they ain't been messed with in a long time. Make sure your Allen's in there all the way so you don't strip it out. Oh, the size is 964. Fits really snug. So we're going to take this off. Remember how it goes, because it's important. And so I'm not sure about the washer in here, but I think a washer goes in here too. This truck doesn't have them on them right now, the way this is set up, but I drained all the nasty brake fluid out of it last night when I did the rear brakes. Snug it up. Remember to tighten it up when you get it back on here. When you go to put it back onto the truck. I just take some zip ties and okay, so then you need a 3/8 Allen wrench for the two bolts. And usually you would need to decompress the brake pads so you could get it back on or whatnot, but we have a new one that's already decompressed, so we're not worried about that. We're just going to set these over there for now because I'm going to want to put some grease on the back of them. Okay, so got that off, got that tied up. We're not leaking any fluid. Now we're going to take this off. So after you get them all out, take a screwdriver, and I'm going to get a rag first. Nothing's going to fall out when you take this part off though. I'll go ahead and take it off. Take it off. This is how your locker works. Right now it's in free. You take it and turn it to lock. It pushes out, pushes on this. Make sure my hands aren't dirty. So right now it'll turn freely, and when you put it on lock, what it does is it pushes this in and locks it in to make that turn. So I'm gonna get another glove. and pause it.
Ready.
Okay. So next we got to take off this. Actually, I don't know if you got to. You could probably do the rings and stuff first, but you know, I bet you don't have to, but I'm going to. I'm gonna get a rag first and lay down on the floor. You need to keep something to put the parts on to keep them clean, so that the grease doesn't attach itself to a bunch of dirt. So there's I don't know what the hell these are called. These things. Or these clips. Ring clips? I don't know what they're called. Take that out. It's right there. And then there's another ring on the outside right here. After you take that screw out, before you do that clip, take this out, and there's a spring. So there's a clip right around here, around this whole edge right here. Just find where it stops. Mine stops right there. Get it around down here to the bottom. I'll take that clip out. So then take two of your bolts. I've seen people do all kinds of weird crap to get this out. They stick those little deals in there and fiddle fart it out and weird stuff, but just put two screws on it and pull it out. It's way easier. So can you get a close-up of what's going on in there? No, like come down to the level. Okay, so you got this piece here, and then there's another thing, and then another deal that looks like that. I don't know what none of them are called, except the back one's the adjuster. It's probably a locking flange or something like that, I don't know. But it's real easy to get those out. They're usually not very tight. You just stick it in there. This one looks like it's in a bind or something. Stick it in there, your screwdriver on it, and just give it a little knot. They probably make a wrench for this, but I don't have one. Okay, I'm gonna have to get a bigger screwdriver. Got it knocked loose now. It didn't appear that it has a certain way it has to go in or out. The other one does, but this one doesn't. So that's what it looks like. It's out. I put all my parts in order, so I remember how to get them out. Shine back in there. This one, I think this one locks the adjuster back there into place, because you see all the little holes on it. You can only put it in back in one way. There's not a front or backwards, so it doesn't matter that way. But it has a little notch right here. You can't see it because the grease that lines up. Put up here with a notch right up here that you'll be able to see once I get all this off. When I clean this one up, I'll show you it's got a notch on it. But if you take it out and lay it straight down on your rag how you took it out, pick it out and put it back in, there's no way to get it wrong. Okay, so now put your hand over this so the bearing don't fall out when you pull it off. Just pull it straight off. Usually turn it upside down, the bearing will fall out. Yep, there with the bearing. There goes the bearing. It doesn't have near as much grease on it as my other one had, but looks pretty good. Alright, so I'm going to set that there. And next I'm going to So next what we got to do is push the studs out, because the studs, you look right here, hold the rotor and the hub together. If you were going to change the bearing out, the back bearing, this is the seal you got to replace. This side, this seal might be leaking a little because there's a little bit of stuff in the bag back there, how it's not clean. That might mean it's leaking a little bit. When I took the other side off, it was all clean back there, and this was clean also. But you'd need this seal right here. I'm going to clean all that right there off and push the bearing forward and put new grease in there. Just right all in there, as much as I can do with my finger. Pull it up and put grease all right in there before I put it back on. But next thing we're going to do is take it over the press and press these out. If you don't have a press, normally if you were just changing the bearings, not the rotor, don't get the rotor dirty with grease. But we're not worried about it. This rotor feels like it's in good shape. But I'm going to press these out. Oh, if you didn't have a press, you can put your nut back on and beat it out. Some people do. I did that earlier and it flattened out my lug nut. Alright, stop the video.
Go.
Alright, we're over here at the press. I have these flat locking lug nuts. Alright, so after you get the studs out, beat that out until you stick a screwdriver in there. Take that piece out and we're going to go clean these studs off. Pause it.
Yeah.
You should wear safety glasses when you do this. I don't have any, so sue me. Alright. Now they're all nice and clean. Right now.
Go.
Okay, so we're going to put the new rotor on the hub, and you probably could use an impact and impact them in. Just slide the stud through and hit it with the impact to suck them up in. So go through impact, but I don't want to mess my lug nuts up. I don't know if they're long enough to do that. I just don't know. I'm not a mechanic, so I'm going to play it safe. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing, but I know this is leaking via that, so try to clean it up a little bit. Learn a little bit about bearings, how much grease you should put, how you re-grease them, because I don't really know. Never had a problem with the way I do it, but I'm sure the way I do it's not right. You know what? This part I don't know exactly how to do it right, so I'm just gonna shove a bunch of grease up in there. Oh yeah. I've got hardly any play in it whatsoever. Just a little bit. No play this way. Yeah. I think someone's replaced these bearings before. Or this truck really only has 42,000 miles on it, like the odometer says. Get no dirt back up in there. Okay. So then this piece goes back on a certain way. One has a little thing pointing out of it, and the other side's flat. You can also probably see where the bearing's been rubbing up against it, but the side that's flat goes up against the bearing. The side that has a little notch sticking out of it sticks out this way. I don't know if it's better to use oil or grease, but I use grease. Put a little grease on your studs. Alright, then this piece goes on. It's a piece that can only go on one way. Got that little lip in it, and it goes up. Pretty sure. Yeah, it goes up. See all those little holes in it? That's what catches that back bearing. That back chase way thing. I'm gonna clean that because it's got gunk on it, and I don't want it getting in there. I got it clean through water. A lot of water on my hand, but I don't think that little bit of water is gonna hurt much. This is what I was So next I'm going to put a little bit of grease in there. spring goes in. Alright. This goes in flat side in. Gap side goes this way. You know, it has a rubber gasket around here. Probably wouldn't hurt to clean that off. Put a little bit of grease on there. I want to unlock it first. Make it a little easier. And it'll only go in one way.